everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In this week's episode of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Kalani's dad has finally joined the family in California after the drive from hell where Kalani's husband Asuelu called her a lying bitch. When her mom confronted him about it, he was like, "It's my wife. I could talk to her however I want." She's like, "Okay, well, I dare you to do that in front of my husband." And Asuelu was like, "Well, if your daughter asks stupid questions." Well, come to find out, Asuelu did not have the balls to, disrespect Kalani in front of her father. At the end of last week's episode, he booked it as soon as he realized that her dad really was coming down, and he was gonna have to face his wrath, and tried to find a bus somewhere. And then this week's episode starts off with Kalani being like, "Okay, well, I called Asuelu to try and talk him out of leaving because we're here in California for our son's second birthday. So I want him to be there, obviously." And he gave me 3 separate fake locations. So I was driving to all these different places to find my husband, and he was not there. Literally, WTF. This girl has an infant, a 2-year-old, she's got better things to do. She's probably freaking exhausted breastfeeding everybody and raising everybody, including her husband. She's got better things to do than to be riding around town trying to find this guy who is giving her fake locations. That is just so psychotic to me. So anyway, she did eventually find him and managed to talk him into coming back to the family house so that he could be present for his son's second birthday. So everybody is in the house at breakfast, including Kalani's father, and they're wondering where the heck Asuelu is because they need to confront him about the way he treated Kalani on the way there. But Asuelu has locked himself into the bedroom playing video games and refuses to come out. And so, the birthday party later on in the afternoon moves forward without him, and he's still refusing to come out when Kalani's friends are asking, where's Asuelu? It's his son's birthday. We want to see him. We want to celebrate with him. And Kalani's embarrassed, so she tells them, listen, he's in his room. We had a fight on our way over here. And her dad was just not having the BS. He gets into that house and he goes into the room and he's like, "Oh, Asuelu, this is your son's birthday. So why don't you put everything, aside and celebrate and be present for that." Meanwhile, in his talking head with us, Kalani's dad is like, "Listen, if we were back in Samoa, I would have been handling this with my fists and not with my words. But this is America after all. But let it be known, the next time Asuelu pulls a stunt like this, there will be no talking. I am whipping his ass." And I have to say, I'm happy to see that her dad is so protective over her after the way that her husband, in my opinion, verbally abused her on the way over there. And he kept manipulating her by lying to her about where it was that he had her driving around town with fake addresses because he is too childish to confront her and her family after the way he mistreated her. And her dad is right to stand up for her. Is he right to threaten violence on her husband? No, but it's nice to see that he does not play when it comes to his daughter. He is not going to allow someone to, jerk her around back and forth. Unlike Elizabeth's father just lets Andrei treat Elizabeth any which way, and he keeps shelling out to finance their lifestyle. And I feel like, that is only enabling Andrei to be worse and worse and worse of a husband and a man. And speaking of Andrei, let's get into what happened with him this episode while we're here, shall we? So Elizabeth and Andrei are in Moldova to get ready for their wedding, and so they're having breakfast at his parents' place, and Elizabeth asks his mother, she's got a very ornate kind of breakfast put out for everybody, and she asks his mother if that's something that she does daily, and his mother says, "Yeah, it is. It's not always this extravagant, but I do make breakfast for my family on a daily basis." And Elizabeth's like, "Oh, is that not something that tires you?" And Andrei's like, "Listen, we're hard workers over here in Moldova, this is just what we do. We get up and go." And Elizabeth, my girl, she was like, like, oh, look, we're hard workers. Moldovans are hard workers. Is that why you have a job, baby? Because he has not had a job since he's landed in the United States because her father has been both of their sugar daddies. Elizabeth continued to poke the bear by saying, oh, you're a man, right? Had a household, like you want all this treats kind of stuff, like then you gotta be the man of the house instead of being someone who relies on me to provide for you. And Andrei's like, you don't know, I am a hardworking head of household. And he says, listen, you can't insult me like this in front of my family. Like, be careful. This is not what you want. And so she does stand down. And then in his talking head to us, Andrei says that Libby should not be offended when he says that women in Moldova are hardworking. He says it's because women over there, they cook, they clean, they raise the baby, all while maintaining a regular job as well. And he says it with a smile on his face as if that's not like kind of the most unfair thing on the planet. Like Andrei feels like because he is staying at home and watching their baby, which is a full-time and difficult job, he can be considered head of household and he does run things and he does not need to work, which, you know what, whatever. Like there are stay-at-home moms as well. If you feel this way, whatever. But the fact that he does not see anything hypocritical about the fact that he feels as though he could stay at home because his sole duty is to watch the child. He's not even cooking. He's not even cleaning. He is not mowing the lawn. He is only watching the child and he feels like that's more than enough. Meanwhile, he thinks that Libby and women in general should be cooking, cleaning, working a regular job, and raising a child. That is beyond me. It is absolutely ridiculous. And in my opinion, not to insult the culture over there, because it is similar for African women and just women in general in a lot of parts of the world in patriarchal societies and very sexist worlds. It's sad. We're getting the short end of the stick. It should not at all be like that. That is just BS. Like, no way, no how. If I'm going to be cooking, cleaning, raising a baby, I am not working outside of the house. You better be the real HOH, bringing in the real money, because otherwise, what does a woman need a man for, right? Later on in the episode, they go out for drinks with Andrei's friends and they ask him whether or not he's currently working, and he says that he's still not working. And they tell him, listen, you should be working because you're a man and it is the man's job to provide for his family. And Andrei says that it's the woman who's working for him, and by woman he means his wife Elizabeth. And I don't know why he kind of referred to her that way. It was very sexist and derogatory in my opinion. He could have just said like, you know, I stay at home with a child, Elizabeth works, but like the way he put it was very shady to me. This whole marriage seems to be a gigantic L for Elizabeth, if you ask me, and his friends then poke at him by calling him a housewife, and he laughingly owns it. But you know that he was just stewing on the inside to have been so emasculated in front of like all of his friends that he's known for 25 plus years. Now, his friends in their talking heads to us, they say that living in America has changed Andrei for the worst because he used to be a hard worker and he has now become so soft. And I just know that he was probably boiling up on the inside when he saw that play out with the rest of us, because it is not at all a good look. Anyway, you guys, that does it. A quick recap of the interesting parts of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After this week. But as always, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.